This is an Instagram AI agent that can scrape anything for you. First, I'll show you the demo and then explain how everything works. If we send a message to this Telegram bot and ask how many followers does n8n has, and the n8n is my Instagram username, so we confirm it and get the amount of followers. Not a lot, I know. Where do I from? This is my Instagram. We'll confirm it. And now it will say that I'm from Belarus. Essentially, it's scraping the personal information about the location where Instagram was registered. Can you tell me if I am subscribed to Logan Paul? It's confirming every action because we prompt it to do that. And when you see the backend, you'll understand how it works. Currently, it is scraping my following, right? And analyzing if I am, subscribed to this person or not. I am not. I have just 2 followings account that I follow, which is my personal account and my wife's account. So it should say no. And we can say then something like, okay, can you send me a list of accounts that I follow? So it says no, obviously the Logan Paul is not in my subscription. So it should send us Eugene Kadzin and Jenny Kadzin. Okay, so now it is sending us the 2 accounts that I follow as well as the suggested accounts. Again, we prompted to do that just for the reference. So now we can say, can you analyze the most viral post that I have? Should ask us if we confirm again Kadzin. So each step is confirming the username, how many posts we should analyze. Let's say 23. And it should ask us, so do we analyze it based on the likes or amount of views? Let's do views. So now it will scrape the 23 last posts, and based on the views, obviously, so it will not scrape the actual post, only the reels, because reels have the views, and provide us the top watched reel. Obviously, it's not a lot, so 146, but this is correct. So now we can say I want to get a coffee somewhere in Barcelona. Okay. How many coffee shops you'd like me to recommend? So now it understood that I'm looking for, specific place like coffee shops. So let's say 7. And now it asks us if we want to, scrape for buyer reels, post location or name. Because again, so maybe we can scrape for the specific names that have the coffee shop in the title. But now we can say just buyer. It will do the scraping based on the information on the keywords like coffee shop in Barcelona that are available within a username bio. And we are doing that through a specific advanced Google search, and I'll explain how it's done. So this is how the agent looks. Before going into the technical setup, I want to mention a few things. You probably watch a lot of the tutorials on YouTube where people build similar agents on platforms like n8n and similar. For the most part, they do not have any monetary value and do not have any, real life applications and just made for educational or demo purposes, which is fine. But in this case, this agent will be sold to one of our clients. So I do believe that it's very important for you to understand where and why AI should be implemented, right? And not just see some fancy builds and think that, okay, so this is what I need. Before going into the decision process that my agency was going through to make a decision to build an agent, I want to mention another thing. I am launching my own SaaS. It will help you to build and sell production-ready AI agents and automations within just minutes and not weeks for the development. In a nutshell, this is a suite of AI solutions that my agency built for our clients that we packaged and modified in a way where anyone with any technical knowledge going through the course that you will have access to, having 24/7 technical support and having all of these things already built in, can deploy ready to publish solutions within just minutes. And the solutions include things like omni-channel AI agent that can talk through Instagram Messenger, WhatsApp, SMS, email, database reactivation with voice SMS, personalized RVMs outreach, which is very unique, customer engagement agent, inbound voice AI, prospect enrichment, and there are quite a few different solutions there. And again, they're ready to production. They're not just templates, right? So they're like complete solutions that are already built on the platform. In a nutshell, this is a white labeled version, modified white label version of Go High Level that is powered by the tools like VoiceFlow, n8n, Vapi. And so this is like the ultimate platform that you need to get access to be able, to do almost anything very fast with, unlimited amount of support. Okay, so in order to get the license right now, you would need to join the webinar. So I have not launched it yet. The launch will be actually on the webinar where I will give all the participants an early bird price. So there's the first link in the description. Once you register and you attend the webinar, so you'll have the early bird price for the license for the platform. And I'll obviously, go through the demo, and we'll also answer all of your questions. Now back to the actual build. On this channel, I was showing you that we were working with a business. I'm gonna blur some information that is primarily operating through Instagram. They receive a lot of the inquiries from the users, and they had quite a few setters that process all the questions and trying to set appointments. So we did multiple flows with them. So these are just a few from the actual pool. And one of them, so once people were going through the actual builds, right, we needed to know if they are qualified to continue talking to us or not. So are they a potential prospect, like qualified prospect for the business? And the way we did that is through the small automation here that is triggering the webhook once the tag check reels is applied. So essentially, when people message, the tag is automatically applied and this webhook gets run. It is a simple make automation that is scraping the Instagram profile of the user through Epify, right? And then actually doing a few, aggregation, modification things. And through the LLM module checking how many views that person has on average on the reels, right? And if he is qualified, so if he has more than 5K views on average, then we go here and we're like adding the tag, which is, qualified. And if the user is not qualified, we're adding not qualified tag. And to just give you an idea, this scenario was ran 260,000 times. Okay, and it's obviously the runs like on the modules, it's not like the total runs, but that's a lot. And you can ask, hey Eugene, so why are you not actually building this thing on n8n? And this is one of the examples that I was talking about. Like, you need to understand your use case. Obviously, n8n is better for this scenario, right? It's obviously better because you're not gonna, pay $300 that they pay right now for make, and so and you can like essentially handle this things like JSON things, like JSON processing through the coding block. And the reason we did that because the company already is using Make, and they wanted specifically us to build it through Make and teach them how to manage it, because we are not charging for the management for this solution. That's why it's very important for us was to actually provide them what they wanted. Okay, so that was one of the actors that we had here, right? So So, and we deployed it, right? So it's working fine. As you can see, it was ran 72,000 times, okay, in 2 months. So once we did the project, right, the client said, hey, Eugene, I also would want to see the location of the user, right? So besides the fact that if this user is qualified or not through the views, they also wanted to qualify them based on the location, right? And that's why in Telegram, I was actually demoing you the location. So this is like obviously not the location of the user. So it's like of the real location. It's more like the location where the Instagram was registered. And like this is the location that the Instagram has. So it's not always accurate, but from our testing is 85%. That's it's fine. That's why we decided to implement this. And like to do that, we were using Rapid API. And here, as you can see, like if we run Mr. Beast and we turn on the include about section, here we have in the United States, and we have the date joined, which is not a data point that we're using, but here in the United States we do. So the countries that are not qualified, that do not have the buying power that the client wants, are assigning to a different type of the agent. So we build both of the agents on VoiceFlow. And again, so you can go watch the video somewhere here where I was going through the setup. And so like we decided to still engage with this user, but with a different like freebie product to make them sign up for the newsletter. Okay. So that was, a second iteration of the solution that we built. Then in about a week, the owner actually came up to me and said, hey, Eugene, so I would want to analyze some of our students and some of our competitors, right, and see what are they posting and what are the results. And they're more interested in the ratio between the views and comments, right? So this is kind of what they're targeting as the main metric. And I said, okay, so we can build you, a simple, Airtable interface where you would, input your Instagram username, and we'll input, how many posts you want to analyze, and here, click start. And if you go to the stats, it will populate the 30 last posts, and then you can export them, and they're like using Power BI to analyze all the accounts because they have multiple ones and do stuff like that. So when we built this and on n8n, because like in this case they didn't want to go through the setup manually, they don't need to understand it because it's again, so it's not running consistently, right? It's more like a few times a week. So as you can see, the scenario is running, and the idea here is that it's looping through each and every post that we're trying to target. And here we are, actually get a result. So you can see 0 are the views because this account like Goalie is primarily like posting the text-based content, so it doesn't have the views. And that's it, right? So this kind of the solution. Obviously, this is in duplicate version of the real thing, and that's it. And we obviously, I advise them to, we can build the interface on Airtable, but they, still use Power BI, so it's better for them to just, export it and import it there. And we can obviously connect this thing to Power BI, but yeah. So that was like the third iteration of the actual solution, right? Of the project, right? Still with the same client, still around like the same kind of business processes. And then I decided, you know what? So how about we will build you an actual agent, like a chat interface, where you will be able to chat with the agent and retrieve anything that you want. And we will power it up with all the possible scrapers. Obviously, there are a lot of them. So if you go, so on Rapid API, it's kind of easier to see. So if you go here, there are like a lot of the endpoints that you can use, right? So, and we just got the, the most popular ones. And for example, like get profile data has a lot of the data references here, right? So it's not just, buy or something. So we build this simple agent. And again, this is just for the demo purposes for the channel. So when you're like sending a Telegram trigger, right, it's pretty easy setup. So you just create a bot through Botfather on Instagram, you're getting the API key and you are putting it here at the connection. We are triggering this on the message, and then we are sending this to this message here through the Telegram. So we are putting here, and then we're having a system message. This is how the system message looks. Now, for those who is kind of familiar with n8n already, might have a few questions. So the first is, this is always how we structure all of our prompts. It's obviously in the markdown. It's obviously divided by sections with the hashtags as well as the separators. We always specify must, never, and always type of the things that, in the bold and capital letter formatting. So AI has a better, so that AI has an easier time understanding the actual requirements, as you can see here. But we are, structuring the prompt a bit differently. So you can see here that, for example, when we're saying the modules are the actual the tools, right? And the tools are connected here. And all of these tools are just HTTP requests, right? So to Epify, and we are using primarily Epify and not Rabbit APIs, just because again they already have the Epify account, and the only Rabbit API we use is, I believe, for the location, which is the actual this endpoint specifically, because the Epify one taking forever. And we are essentially asking when processing the data. So we are going backwards through from the JSON that we are sending to the tool, right? So we're asking it to process the data through the actual through this JSON, and then we are, instead of using the placeholder definitions where we can essentially say what is the username, so what is the variable, we can specify it in the description. We are saying, hey, in the JSON body, replace the username with the username specified by the user, right? So it's a bit controversial because usually you put, hey, this tool gets the profile data, and we're not doing that because we must make sure that all the data is accurate. So it's better. So if we're balancing between the agent understanding what tool to run and making sure that the tool has the best info possible, so we're choosing the actual the tool. So because, for example, obviously if you are, and from all of our tests, and we were already deployed and they already started to test it, and it's a week ago, so it's still we don't have enough data, but it's working great, right? So it has the 100% accuracy hit rate. So you could technically say, hey, run this tool when you want the Google search information. But now, because this is a advanced Google search, it might find some problems, putting the variables in the right places. So we decided to go with this route. Just keep in mind why we're doing that. And here, and by the way, I forgot to mention that this template will be available for free, right? So if you want, production ready templates that you can sell, as I mentioned, so you would need to get the license for my platform, and in order to do that, join the webinar. But a lot of the templates that I share on this channel are free in my resource hub. So there is a link in the description. If you go there, you sign up, you'll get a unique link to the newsletter, to the actual resource hub, and there you'll find this template. Again, it's free. So here we are in the query, we are using C. So this is so we're kind of in the variable, we are putting what the user wants as well as the actual location, right? As well as, with the pages, we're using the same thing. So this is one of the ways that you can find information through the Instagram, right, and not through the like general search. Okay, and this is why when we were asking it to output the info about the the coffee shops, so it was specifically looking for coffee shops in Barcelona and not just some random shops. And we can like say the same thing, like wanna go to the gym. Okay, sorry, gym. Jesus, I spelled it weirdly. Gym you'd like to find the information about. How do you recommend the gym at a specific location? Yeah, yeah, sure. I am in in like Westland, Michigan. Find like 5. So it will start obviously running this thing. Okay, that was right. So the idea of the agent, and this is how it is set up. We have a ChatGPT for O-Mini, and we have a window buffer memory again. So it was kind of behaving a bit differently because like it was clarifying what specifically we want to analyze, like what account, and was confirming that. And you can like fix it in the prompt, and this prompt obviously will be inside the inside this automation, as well as attached separately if you want to use it. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. Let me know, by the way, if you want me to, because we are like planning to integrate more solutions specifically for this business also. So if you want to stay updated, let me know in the comments, and have a good one. Peace.